All right. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing started. Uh, my cats are acting like idiots in the background. I want to apologize if that becomes too crazy for anyone. Um, it's just a really good reminder that you should totally go to a professional and not try to do this stuff yourself. Pet dander is pretty bad. Some people say it'll be like an automatic infection. Luckily, I haven't had any problem with that, and I've been around pets, for a pretty long time. Maybe I'm just tempting fate. I don't know, but so far so good. Please ignore the cats. Um, one thing I did want to touch on. I know that Twitch only right now for my account it will only allow for 15 saved videos at a time. So just so you guys know, I am going to be backing these up to YouTube. I have been backing them up for a little while. Jeez. And so if I say something and I say, oh, I've said this before, go back and check out those videos because some of the mistakes I make are pretty hilarious. If you know what's going on, and to me, they're permanent. So I'm learning high risk and fun reward. Yesterday I had some problems with my needle cartridge not throwing out as far as I wanted it to. Ended up riding the tube on some of my tattoo, and splattering ink everywhere, and it just became a really big mess, like really quickly. Today, actually, I tested everything out, so I have everything set up. I'm not going to walk through my setup process. I'm not going to walk through any of that stuff. If you're interested, you can go and check it out. I might talk about it just as a point, but yeah, everything's already set up and ready to go. Um, One thing that I have harped on in the past is, whenever you go to a tattoo artisan, tattoo parlor, I guess some people still call it that. Um, but whenever you go there, a lot of these guys and gals, they sketch these ideas out. They work with you. They work with what it is that you've got going on, so on and so forth. And you end up, with them coming at you with a piece of contact paper and a little bit of this liquid that they smear on your skin to apply a stencil. Um, I've actually, due to my rushing yesterday, I had some issues with my stencil getting a little smearing for whatever reason. I don't know if it's the heat. I don't know. We're in Georgia right now. It ebbs and flows at this point in time. It was 80 earlier today. For my European folks and everyone else in the world that uses Celsius, not 80 Celsius, we would all be dead. But yeah, it was 80 today. It's kind of warm in the house, and this thing is still kind of smeary. But what I wanted to show is that I keep saying you go to these tattoo places, and if they apply the stencil, and you're laying down, things are going to look kind of weird. I'm switching legs today, giving my left leg a little bit of a rest, and going after my right leg, which I'll show you guys pretty quickly. So I'm going for kind of a something that's a traditional type of oh, not that view. Jeez, a traditional tattoo of like an American traditional ghost. This right now, like the way I'm sitting, my leg is bent. My muscle is actually kind of contracted right in this area. So this ghost has like a lot of booty basically. But as I'm going to try. I don't know if I actually will sit high enough and have the camera be able to point a little bit better. But I mean, like this is kind of like this is ET in a sheet. And also, if you're looking close, you'll see I am missing a line. Whenever I was making the stencil, I just wasn't paying attention. But I know where that line goes. I do have my reference. And don't get me wrong, reference Ghost still has kind of a booty, but not like this. Like this is, I mean, that's a pointy, make it make it dance. So whenever I stand up, though. Well, I have to step back a little bit. Hopefully, you can still hear me. So it's much more stretched out. Like this is going to be the natural. Uh, hey, what's up? What's going on, turkey noodle? Um, so this is going to be the natural state of this. You know, whenever people will see it the most is whenever I'm standing, not whenever I'm, sitting. You see how high up this is? Woo! Hey, what's up? What's going on, Bagwell? So this is pretty high up. No one's going to see this, and that's on purpose too, because I might mess this up again. I'm going with a round shader, a 7 round shader, like I did yesterday. And I can go ahead and I'll show you this leg's just tired, and I hit this thing with the shader pretty hard. The curved mag. Uh, whole bunch of needles going in all at once on an already tired leg. So that one's just a little bit tired. We're going to give that one a rest for a little while. We're going to come over here and we're going to work with this one. um, the this also kind of goes with the importance. Not only do you want the stencil to be applied in a natural position to where most people will see it, but you will also, like if you're the artist, you'll want to pull. You'll want a tight line. Throughout everything. So whenever you're working, when not whenever you're working, whenever the artist is working, you will feel them kind of pressing in different places, putting their hand in different places, and coming in, and actually that needle hitting. Um, I am not suggesting again that anyone do this, but uh, in you know I'm assuming that some people have gone back, watched the videos. If you're watching this one, it's probably not live. I've got two really great people with me tonight to keep me company and keep me honest. And I'm glad you guys are here. Um, y'all are gonna watch me squirm because again, this needle is it's fierce compared to these lovely dainty lines that I did like on this piece, and the smoke on this piece. Like I mean, these were some fine. I was spoiled, and then I hit this thing, and yeah, that and it's a small round. Like it's not even a big shader. Like it's a small shader. So without further ado, without further ado, I'm going to turn this thing on. Again, there's probably going to be kind of an annoying buzzing noise. I apologize. This is actually a really quiet machine, but whenever it's wrapped up in plastic for fun and safety, sometimes that bar that's in here, this armature, will actually hit the bag and it'll make a kind of a buzzing noise. Which is unfortunate because it is such an awesome machine. But and I like the that direct drive where it's just pushing that needle in and it doesn't matter, like there's no give whatsoever. It's going to do what it's going to do. But yeah, I was spoiled with those tiny lines, and this bad boy, like it's rough. So I want to go ahead and show you guys also like the reference piece that I was working with. Not the beholder over there. He's not. He's just scary. This guy right here. Yeah, where my thumb is. Whoop. Sorry, I'm getting used to the cameras, and I kind of had to switch things up a little bit just so that I would be able to get to this leg. So I'm gonna. Really, you guys haven't heard it? That's awesome. I love it. So that means that all you've heard me do, like all you've heard, you haven't heard. Burn, I haven't had anything drowned out. Oh, ah, oh, that was bad. Nope. So I guess you've heard all the great sound effects that have come along. So without further ado, let's go ahead and power this thing up and show you guys just how awesome this is. I don't know if you can see. I'm trying to get maybe the reference book here. Probably see it looks like the tip of a mechanical pencil going on there. That is actually far I was able to get the how far I was able to get the throw of that needle. Yesterday I was struggling. I don't know what it wasn't the cartridge. I think it was actually my grip. I'm using disposable grips. I didn't want to commit to like a, an aluminum one that the only safe way to clean it is to like bake it for ever and, like an oven that I don't have, and basically treat it like medical gear. So I've been using disposable ones, and maybe I just got a bad one or something. I don't know. But again, you guys can see this mechanical pencil fun. Anything that looks like it's poking and protruding, that's the actual needle. I think you can actually see it this time, like kind of moving back and forth quite rapidly. If I turn this thing off, like it's gone, right? So that's a lot of needle. Yesterday I was having some problems. Like I would put the ink in, and then it wasn't throwing out far enough, and whenever I would get close enough, the tip of the cartridge would touch and just spread ink everywhere. So I'm trying to avoid that. You guys can also see I've got I don't know if you can tell, but I have two of these top hats out this time, because I did shading yesterday, and the cartridge on that's wide, and I kept hitting the this tiny little one that I'm using right now, and it was just spreading ink everywhere, and it was just a big mess. Like yesterday was definitely not my jam. So I'm gonna go ahead. Like I said, I mean, I've been saying for 5 minutes, let's do this. So I'm gonna load this bad boy up. I'm gonna show you what that looks like loaded up. That looks like this. So now you can see there's some black in there. That's ink. I am gonna start. You know what? I think I'm gonna be brave and just start with the eyes. And I might, I'm probably gonna get in the way a lot because again, this is a different leg. So, oh my gosh, yep, there it is. And it's still dumping ink. That is insane. I don't like these cartridges, but I got them, and they're mine, so I'm gonna use them because I'm stubborn like that, and I'd much rather. You know what? I know exactly what it is. It's not the size. It's not the cartridge. It's actually the fact that this is a shader, right? So it's supposed to dump ink. It's supposed to throw ink down and get in the way of everything. So let me go back over that one more time. And old turkey noodle over there, he knows right now that if I don't get to the chat immediately, it's not that I don't love you guys. It's that I don't want to be like, what are you guys saying? You know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine a big enough, large enough tattoo where I would feel comfortable just letting it, just ignoring it, just letting it go. I think my cat's about to try to join me, and I am gonna flip out. Sorry about that. He's such a loving cat, but I mean, you heard me say I really don't. We're not doing infections. Like, I don't have time for that. I'm a veteran, damn it. Like, I got better things. I got better things to get sick with. They don't give you cool veteran drugs for infections. Shit, they don't give you cool veteran drugs anyway. Trust me. So, again, I chose this design. It looks rather simple. Um, in a traditional American uh, traditional tattoo, um, standard needle size is a 12. Grouping doesn't, I think they normally group around 5 to 7. It seems to be like what I've seen, and so they're kind of fat lines. They seem really simple, but I mean, I just figured this would be a good use of this particular needle. So, all right, let's see if we can get a nice tight pull, three-way here, and yeah.
Oh man, I hope I didn't go too deep on that. That actually, that felt like I might have gone a little too deep. I'm not trying to, whew, definitely not trying to have any of those crazy blowouts. I haven't had a blowout yet. Knock on wood. I keep saying it. Haven't had one yet. Um, but I think a round shader is definitely where I would do it. Lining with a round shader seems like a pretty risky thing for someone like me to try. Whenever I say someone like me, I don't mean someone tattooing in their house. That's already risky. But someone like me being like absolutely brand new to this. Um, I'm gonna try. Gotta look at this reference real quick to make sure that I am actually putting the missing line where it belongs on this. Yeah, and it just lines up pretty easy. Um, so in case you guys like were wondering, like, oh, why sometimes he push, why sometimes he pull, it's because I want to be able to see what it is that I'm doing. So, and the objective here is to do as much as I can with one pass. That's the objective. And turkey noodle size always matters. Whoever told you that, it's just being nice, bro. Oh, you do that? That's terrible. Okay. I also chose this because, uh, this is a shader, and there are really some pretty heavy, some pretty heavy areas in here that that are supposed to be kind of shaded. Beyond beyond shading even. It's supposed to be completely black. Oh my gosh. Hey guys, if you have not tattooed your inner thigh, you don't know what you're missing. It's a lot of fun. Doesn't feel bad at all. It's not very sensitive. All right, let's get this big ghost booty going on. Actually, let's do this. Let's do this wizard sleeve first. Yeah, a little bit of sarcasm there. I can't wait. I can't wait to do it again. It's just a shame that I only have so much inner thigh. So what you guys can't see me doing right now is like this thing's like just soaking up ink like no man's business. The needle cartridge, and so what I'm doing is actually uh, wiping it with a paper towel before I put it on my leg. Yeah, trust me. I know you just or followed me. Um, but if you could see uh, a couple of my first attempts, Joe, like you would see like some some stuff I'm going to be redoing. Yeah, I'll definitely be doing some maybe not full cover up, but definitely some cleanup action. Cause they are nasty. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't be down on myself. Let's be positive. They were absolutely great for someone who just received their tattoo machine like that day. I'll be fair to myself and I'll say that. I will own that. How does that go? Well, that is an interesting little turn. I don't really see it happening like that here, but then again, I'm sitting down, so that comes up to trying to check out my reference material and make sure that that the stencil's actually correct. I know that sounds weird, but I honestly feel like if I feel like I'm missing something, it's not where I want to be. All right. Definitely adding and taking away on the fly is also really cool. Um, Especially whenever, you're looking at something that kind of looks like this bad boy where he's all squinched up because of oh yeah, no, that's rad. Forgot about this part. Actually, it's right there. Okay. Whew. Just did that fun thing where I hit the edge. And I'm not a huge fan. Still not a huge fan of these cartridges, but it's okay. Talk about. And I'm trying to keep this one fairly short. I realize that we went over an hour yesterday. Um, I will have some longer ones. Right now, the thing that I'm really trying to focus on is getting this line work done somewhat on a somewhat regular, consistent quality. And being able to do that, I think is really going to help out with everything else, because people want black and white. They want grayscale, high detail, no color, and all of that stuff, or even color, like relies on good line work. Something that I'm not brave enough to try just yet, but I know I'll get around to is what they call bloodlining, and essentially like you're just running the needle without any ink in it. Um, and the reason that you do that is so that you can see an outline and then apply ink around that area so that you can do more realistic pieces by doing a lot of shading and fading and stuff like that without having big bold lines there. And so that's supposedly one of the things to do. Now I might be putting this down for a second and just giving this guy a little time to rest because um, I don't know if you saw like or you remember on that reference piece, like there's there's some black on in the sleeves and in the eyes. This is a shader, so I mean, why not? Why not just go ahead and do that? However, I'll also say it's not pleasant, and you know, don't want to overwork the skin. I also don't want to pull out the those magnums because for me this is kind of a this is still a rather small piece of art, like not that big, just really bold. And you'll see I'm trying to fight the urge uh, to to shade like I would with a pencil. Um, Almost like all of my all of my designs, not almost all of them are done in pencil, and then I learn where the proper lines would be for me by going over it in ink and like with a pen. But whenever you shade, you're like this, or you cross hatch, which is fine. If I had a smaller needle, that's actually what I would do. I like the look of cross hatching. I don't know how permanent it is, but I like that look. So, but with this, you want to do, from what I've seen, from what I've read, you want to do these tiny circles and just pack the ink in there. But in doing so, I'm having a kind of a difficult time. Like this is the third time I've been in this area with a needle. That cannot be good. Like uh, that's a lot of trauma to the skin, and it's unfortunate. Like I'm really hoping this is a tiny area. It's just the eyes, right? But um, but I'm really hoping that it'll be a consistent pack whenever I do this, and I don't miss anywhere. So a question for for you guys, and feel free to drop this in chat. Eventually, what I want to do is I want to have my stencils kind of pre drawn out. Not all of them, just a couple. Yeah, yeah. Well, skin is resilient, but I really don't want to turn it to hamburger meat by just going over it and over it and over it. And I definitely don't want to scratch, right? That's what those small concentric circles do. They keep you from cutting with the needles, and they just jam the needles down in your skin. But if you keep going over it and over it and over it all in one sitting with no break, a lot of people will be like, oh, I'm going to go outside and smoke a cigarette, give it 10 minutes to just kind of rest for a second, let the guy's hands rest for a second, let your skin rest for a second, and then they come back, or like take a bathroom break or whatever. Um, but yeah, so let me get back to this question. So if I if I did have, say, like two or three designs that I would be okay with putting on my body, do you think it'd be cool to like have you guys like kind of maybe vote, or like decide, like I guess voting, I guess the democratic way, um, to vote and see like what it is that I end up doing, or do you think that that's just too much trouble and I should just go and just do whatever it is that I want to do anyway? Right about now, I'm wishing that I had just stuck with idea of using a Packer, because this thing feels so awesome. Well, that's blood. Um, yeah. So jeez, I'm gonna I'm gonna throw this out as well with that. Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm thinking, because on here I'm gonna switch to a Packer, man. Like I cannot do this. That This little needle, man. I'm not saying you know I'm not trying to wuss out or anything. That's not what's happening. Yeah, I would like some interaction. Um, Definitely. And I mean, the thing is, like, I'm doing this, right? Like, I would be talking to myself, acting like I'm talking to no one. That would be happening right now. But I really like the social aspect of this. I like what it is that I'm doing. I mean, this is to me, this is fun. It's uh, it's therapeutic even. I feel great after I get done with it, and actually, I have a pretty good fun time like doing it myself, like just going at it. But if I can't share it, or if I can't talk about it, it kind of diminishes how things go. So I thought, I mean, pretty much any design that I'm going to throw up there, with the exception, maybe at some point in time, I might throw like a wild card out there of something like, some pretty little butterflies or something that I really wouldn't do necessarily, although butterflies are pretty rad. Um, and just give the option of having that happen. Now, the reason I bring up the poll or lack of poll really is, I don't know if you guys knew this, but on Twitch,
You actually can't have a poll until you reach a certain level of, you can't have an official poll. Like I can ask you guys and then watch and chat and try to count and do it that way. But yeah, you have to have a certain level of viewership before you can do like put an automated poll in practice. Right now, I'm going to be reaching over to my fun needle drawer. I'm going to switch up. We're going to do another. What is this? This is a. Ooh, that'll be fun. This this is definitely a packer. So and I trust trust these guys. Uh, Not that I don't trust the other needles. Like yeah, do a straw poll and link it. Yeah, I could do that. Um, I could do it. I wouldn't mind having a little bit more interaction on YouTube. Um, that would be fun as well. Ah, come on, don't do this to me. You want to get loose. Hmm, might be that fun. Yeah, there we go. Got the product to kind of smooth things out, keep keep my skin nice and moist while I do this, and it makes things a little bit slippery. All right, so again, going back with what we did, yesterday, you can see this thing is uh, huge. This is actually a fairly small one, um, and then since this is my ink and I'm a frugal guy, we're gonna go ahead and dump that in there. Wipe off the excess. I don't want that on me. Sorry, shaking the bottle. That's what I was doing. I was shaking the bottle. And I do not want a big giant mess like I had yesterday. So yeah, I think what I'll end up doing, maybe what I'll do is I'll go ahead and set up like the polling uh, a third party system or whatever at the end of one of my episodes. Drop a link to it, and also drop the link on YouTube, whatever other social media decide to get into, and then we'll go from there. The next episode or whatever reminder, bring it up. I don't know. I'm very new to all this. As new as I am to putting needles filled with ink uh, into my skin, I'm just as new to streaming. Luckily, I have a couple of really great, I won't say mentors, but very supportive uh, friends who have given me a couple of tips. Look at that. Look at this. So this, I don't know if you can see that or not, but right inside this sleeve, like I was using a shader, and I have just ripped that guy up. So this is gonna be, oh, this is gonna be painful. But we gotta put the ink in it. Like can't just leave it like that. Would you get up if you were paying for it? Would you get up and leave? No. Holy crap! That is a scary looking. That's oh jeez. It's like teeth. Maybe. No, no, maybe I should. Nope, that's the wrong way. All right. I don't know how much less I can have. That's about as little as I got. Oh, here we go. Oh crap. Suck. Well, I'm gonna avoid that other one that was bleeding so bad and just go straight over here to this ghost sleeve and so much ink. It's still not packing it the way I want it to.
Oh, yeah. Need a little bit more light here. I'm trying to avoid going over the lines that I laid down while I was lining, because this is still a fairly like that's a pretty tight area. Maybe I can. Ooh, jeez. Yes, let's just tattoo our thumbnail. Ugh. Yeah, you guys saw that. Luckily, yeah, I just hit the tip of it. It didn't actually cut through. So, professionals, go to a professional. I mean, otherwise you're just kind of you're asking for it, you know? Just asking to be awesomely tattooed by somebody who has a crazy cat running around their house, no licensure. Can you believe they just give these things to anyone? This is insane. Look at the cool things I can do. This is nuts. Not only that, but I don't know. I'm sure I've told you. Look at that. Look at that devil cat. Get out of here. Get out. No, get. I'll beat you. Don't you come at me. Okay. So I don't know if I've mentioned this, but man, he's just evil. Look at him back there. Okay. Yeah. So I got a couple of cool questions. I'm staring at this cat like I'm waiting for him to just come claws out at me, and I know he's going to do it. So what I'm doing right now, Bagwell brought up a great question. Like, what is the technique? Technically, like what you would want to do is just kind of like you kind of want to use it like a paintbrush. You, you dab down, do a stroke, right? Or you come the other way. To me, like logic in my brain says if I do that, if I'm pushing forward, I'm probably going to be doing like a lot more damage than if I'm pulling away, right? But I don't think you do. Um, so so whenever you see these large needles, these actually they're not as painful done correctly as or at least to me anyway as the actual lining process. And it's a little bit more freeform in how you can lay it down as long as you do that thing. Like, who would have thought, like, some of the most rebellious people that you can think of in history probably had like some crazy rebellious tattoos. Oh my gosh, what are you doing? He's this cat, I swear. I love him. I do. He's the best. um, but he's also the worst. um, but yeah, some of the most rebellious people that you could probably think of in your life, personally, they probably had tattoos. It's like kind of a big bad thing to do whenever you're in the army, or especially in the Navy. Tattoo culture in the Navy is also like really strong. So these rebellious folk, and the people that you go and see are all hard and like bald headed, tattooed, like piercings everywhere. And essentially, like once you get this line work down, just color within the lines. Look at that devil cat. You just color within the lines. You just stay within the lines. Yeah, the cat does want a tattoo. He's going to learn real quick. That's probably what's going to happen. These cartridges are disposable. It's not abuse if he attacks me. Did you see that? It's not abuse if he attacks me, right? That's self defense. Like, all I'm doing, officer, I know that you got phone calls from people online saying that I was abusing my cat. That's just not the case. Here's evidence. He abuses me. I do not feel safe in my home. I wake up, he's watching me sleep. He tells me when he's going to eat. Man, I would love one of these days. I'm going to like be using this thing, like really just packing in the color, you know, and I'm going to stay within the lines. And it's going to be nice and dark. And this might just be the ink too. Um, this is, I mean, it's a good brand, but it's not like, you know, there's black, there's charcoal black, there's ultimate black, there's intense crazy black, there's black from the bottomless pit of hell black. Like these are colors of black. I just got black. You know, I didn't pay any extra for demons and whatnot. Like you know, I'm just trying, man, I'm just trying to get my tattoo on. I'm not summoning Satan for it. You know. All right. I really want more color in there. Get in my skin. I'm tired of going over you. You do not feel as awesome as I want you to feel. Maybe I should have got that intense demon black or something. All right. I'm gonna go kind of. So, um, you'll trade cats. No, you won't. I've met your cat. She's a different. She's a different kind of trouble. All right. So one of the cool things about these curved magnums is that you kind of have a little leeway. Cat. I know. It's more like an Easter ham. Uh, but you kind of have a little bit of leeway uh, with the since there's this curved angle. You can kind of come in like if the outside of my finger was the curve, and you can just like just barely barely touch in those areas. You don't have to come in straight down and get a good solid. Man, he's trying to get me, and get a good solid like jab in. Like you can just and that's what I'm going to try to do with these eyes. It's just kind of get just pack some more color in there. I mean, I know I went at it with the round shader and kind of tore up those areas a little bit. So what I really want, at some point, I want somebody who actually knows what they're doing to just jump in this chat, jump on my YouTube or whatever, and just be like, "Bro, no." I'm not gonna stop though. I'm gonna keep doing it. I just, I'm just gonna find. Ah, hey, how you doing? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm glad you stopped by. Um, yeah. So I hope that he told you a little bit more about what was going on. And welcome, welcome to my channel. I am actually just kind of wrapping up here, and and I'm sure like what you're looking at here is like what you've missed is that this is a big bottomed ghost. But I swear, whenever I stand up, how I applied the stencil, um, it stretches out, so it'll actually be okay. I'm gonna go ahead and. I mean, I'm sorry. I wish that you would have come in like earlier. And maybe you did. Maybe you did come in earlier, and I'm just now seeing you on chat. But yeah, like I'm just now wrapping up. I started off today with everything already loaded, already bagged. Past videos I go through, making sure that I show cartridges are fresh. They're not, I'm not trying to reuse stuff. I'm trying to do everything with the same amount of cleanliness as what somebody should expect if they do walk into a shop. Show the other leg. Oh, okay.
Thanks, Turkey Noodle. I appreciate that. You're great. All right. So let me clean this one up first and give it some time to just kind of rest, not with a bunch of ugly ink just hanging out all over it. Um, because I really, honestly, I just wanted that cool water. Like I just, oh, that was terrible. There we go. You know, again, American classic, traditional tattoo, eh, ghosty ghost. That's not too bad. I'd I'd pay $25 for that. Here we go. Now I'm gonna let that rest. All right. So this is the other leg. This is what I've done so far. I want it to be known, like for anyone viewing, anyone popping in, especially now. No, I don't. And I'll tell you why. Question, about Vaseline and plastic wrap. So no, I don't because I've heard two different schools of thoughts on this. Right, this is an open wound, and I might consider throwing down some Neosporin and like gauze on it, nonstick gauze. I've heard people say how's a wound supposed to heal whenever everything is airtight and it can't get the oxygen that it needs. So my aftercare is, pretty much as soon as this camera turns off, I'll go soap and water. Like I'll just take a shower, warm water and soap, and then I might, if it's irritated in any kind of way, like where I just packed the black in here, like that was not very comfortable for me. So I know that's going to be irritated. I'll probably put some Neosporin down, and then I'll take medical tape and gauze, and actually just so that it can breathe. I'll either put it here, or I'll put it, up and down, and that way it you know the other school of thought, I'm giving it air, so I'm really like I'm trying not to keep it open and let everything just rub on it while I'm sleeping, or if I have to do anything a little bit later in the day or anything. But yeah, Vaseline and plastic wrap, like uh no, no, because another thing is a lot of people that I've heard that do that, they only suggest doing that until you can get to a shower, and like half an hour to an hour, and then let it breathe. And I could be wrong, but that's just some of the people that I've talked to, and some of the stuff that I've read. These are unwrapped because it's time. I'm at the end of my day. I can let this loose clothing. I can let it breathe, and hopefully get it healed up. The next thing I do is, once it starts to get to a point of being tolerable to the touch, and not such an open wound, at that point I put lotion, like a non-scented, unscented lotion, so it doesn't bother the open skin. It doesn't scrape off any scabs or anything like that. It keeps the skin nice and moist, while it's in those final stages of healing. And that's just, I mean, that's a combination of something that I would probably do anyway, and also, what I've heard is a reasonable thing to do. Uh, but yeah, I mean, the only irritation that I've really gotten, obviously, this is the last one that I did. I did this one yesterday. I'm giving this leg a rest, and starting to come over here, and work a little bit more. I'm spoiled by these tiny, nice, thin lined, liners that I've used. They are beautiful. They are wonderful. I would say comparison. Yeah, keep it clear of things that infect, and just keep it from drying out. Exactly, exactly. So that's why I don't do the Vaseline thing. Yeah, sure, it's a barrier, uh, but it's oil, you're slathering oil on your skin. Eventually that is gonna, that will dry out on a big enough piece. I think it'll dry out pretty quickly. But I mean, that's me. I'm also doing this from my home, and if you've been watching for more than like 10 minutes, you've probably seen the devil cat running around. And no, I would not get a tattoo from any place that has pets just hanging out. So this is just some guy who's learning to do this. Yeah, and prevent scabbing. Right. So I actually, this is the first time um, that I've been doing this where I've got, I'm pulling some blood here, which is kind of, that's, I guess I've just been lucky. Uh, but yeah, again, as soon as the camera's off, I'll definitely be throwing some Neosporin on this bad boy, just for the first, maybe the first night and day, and then just keep an eye on it. But none of these have scabbed. I'm really trying hard not to show this guy off, but none of these have scabbed. This one may, just because there. I don't know what it is, like the color, right? The color packing. Um, whether it's a curved mag or regular mag, like, I attempted some shading on here. I did some, color packing with the a round shader, uh, on this hard lines around the area here on the top of the heart and off to the side, and even a little bit on the inside of the this bowl. um, but yeah, I don't, that shading, even whenever I did a little bit on the smoke from the matchstick here, I just did a tiny bit in there, and it's sticking, it's staying, it hasn't come off yet. But at the same time, like, this whole area was just like red, like it was like I was just scraping away. And I wasn't, like I was really light strokes. um, my machine is a little, or my power source is a little bit higher than what I normally run it at. um, because I don't want to I don't want to be sitting there like going real slow. Like, I want this over and done with, because it is not, the shading part is really, it's not pleasant for me. And I will be going through and doing some color on these, once I get a a lot more done and get a lot more comfortable with it. Uh, but I got my gnarly old narwhal. That'll be some blues and whites, matchstick, a little bit of brown, yellow, maybe some orange around the top part of the smoke. I'll keep this lovely skull. I love the hatching in it. I'm glad that I did it the way that I did, instead of trying to experiment with a shader. And this will probably be, maybe I might keep the heart the way that it is, just in the black and white with the shadows done in gray, and then this liquid coming out, that'll be a nice blood red. If I would have thought about it, if I actually would have had the color, honestly, then whenever I originally did this, I wouldn't have outlined it in black. I just would have gone straight red. Um, but yeah, the ghost, I'm pretty proud of him. I think he looks exactly like he would in a flash book, hanging up on the wall. Somebody comes in, 18, 19 years old, want that first tattoo. I'll take the ghost. I think it turned out okay. Um, Lines aren't too shaky. Maybe a little bit around here. Um, see a little bit of my original stencil kind of coming off there. Also, uh, off constantly. I'm also glad that you showed up. I do have a question. Like, I heard that you were doing some apprentice. You're actually, I don't know how far along you are in your apprenticing, but um, I don't know how you guys work with clients, whether whether there is a lot of flash work, whether you're given a lot of freedom of coaching your clients. One good thing about doing this, I don't know if you've tattooed yourself yet. A lot of people that a lot of people, I swear, a lot of people that I've talked to, they don't even, they know what it feels like. They've had tattoos done, but they don't know what it feels like to tattoo something besides fake skin or anything like that. So I was just curious, at some point in time, drop a line. I'd love to stay in contact. I'd love to hear what your experience is. I've heard good and bad on people and their apprenticing. Hopefully, you got a good team, and if you decide to do something along these lines, where you're streaming something or making some YouTube videos or whatever, I'd really appreciate a link to that. And maybe at some point in time, whenever you want to chime in and be like that person that I was talking about. I don't know if you caught that earlier, that the professional watching me do this, and then they're like, no, don't do what he's doing. Like, I would love to have you as a guest. Whenever is good for you. So anyway, totally meant to wrap this up uh, maybe 20 minutes ago. It's great to have everyone on here. Um, I'm happy with it. Tomorrow, I have no idea what we're doing. I might try something a little bit more technical. We might just stick with some of the old school flash, traditional style tats, and see what happens. I should be getting a shipment of new needles in, or new cartridges in, maybe this weekend. And yeah, there's a couple other little goodies in there, nothing too big or bad, but something that we can explore and experiment with, you know, at our leisure. So without further ado, it was great seeing everybody, and hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. And look at, oh, that devil cat. He's gonna try to. As soon as I get off here, if you guys don't see me tomorrow, you know what happened. All right, guys. I'll see you later.